This is Roger with Wheel Kinetics in Tucson, Arizona. We're selling this truck. It is a 2004 Chevy Silverado 3500. It's a 1-ton dual rear wheel. It's a 6.0 gas V8. It's 2-wheel drive. It has 256,600 miles. We bought it directly from Coca-Cola in Texas. It's got a nice hydraulic lift on it. It's got a box, obviously utility box. When we get it here, we do a inspection. It's generally about 2 hours, driving in the air, wheels off, measurements, etc. And unfortunately, this thing had a tranny that was a mess. So we had the tranny rebuilt. It got a new oil and filter. Rear brake pads are new. New battery. Windshield is new. Both upper control arms are new. Carrier bearing is new. It had a little bit of vibration. And the ignition is new. And then when we got it all done, the GM cluster decided to take a dump, so it's got a brand new GM cluster to boot. Anyway, I'm going to walk around this thing. Jason's going to come out here and he's going to open up some things for me. First of all, it's a work truck, and it's clearly been in Texas because it's got nice little hail damage on the hood. Not on the fenders or anything. Obviously, if you wanted to buy a $100 hood and paint it red, you could. But I don't think anyone's going to be worrying about cosmetics in this truck. It's going to be all about mechanics. We can hear a little tiny bit of an exhaust leak that we're not even going to deal with. It runs great, scans great, the transmission's rebuilt, so that's handled. There's really nothing to report other than that. As usual, the outside tires always have the most wear. My brother's going to take this thing out. He's going to do probably 30 or 40 HD pictures. You'll have a little device where you can zoom in on it. Is there a rating for this?
1,300 pounds.
1,300? That's a 1,300 pound lift. That's aluminum too. That would be down, and that would be up. Down's gentle, up is fast. It's got a little brackets for some tanks back there. Got a little bit of damage on this door right here. Like I said, we bought these from Coke. We bought 4 of them. One of them is already sold. The others will be right behind it. I'm sure this one's going to be right behind it. This is the last one we got done because it needed a transmission. Anyway, it's also got dual tanks. That'd be a Texas thing. Very interesting that it would have dual tanks. Unless you're out in the middle of nowhere, which is where this thing was probably driving around, servicing vending machines, unlikely. 256,616 miles. Open the hood. Thank you. Jason knows it's 500 degrees out here. Be a new battery. Barely hear that exhaust, tiny bit. Probably one of the exhaust donuts has a leak in it. But we're done with this thing. Mechanically, it's fine. We're not gonna go any further. It does have a tear on that outside driver's seat that I'll show you in a second. Again, we're trying to keep the bleeding down here. Dash peeling that Chevys do. We have a Tahoe that had that terrible. I'm not sure what they were doing when they know that you would need a manual. If you can't figure out how to operate this truck, you probably shouldn't be driving. This is about as basic as it is, as you can get. Seat cover. We could have that stitched together. It would look like hell. Plus, like I said, we've already spent enough money on this truck making it fully mechanically functional and reliable. We're done. And that kind of follows in with the hail on the hood. Alright, the air is blowing ice cold. I can attest to that because right now it's monsoon season. Humidity is about 60% and it's probably, gosh, 102 or 3 out there. Pretty soon it'll be 90% humidity and 105, and I'm cool. So there's your tow on and off. On, off. Radio, AM, FM, radio only. Like I said, there's the air. Yep, all the settings work on the air. I'm going to put it at about 3 because it's really warm. Alright, there you go. Alright, it's on a clear title. So if you come to Tucson to drive it home, which you're welcome to do, you're going to pay tax and dock fees. Dock fees are $250. Taxes are 2% city sales tax here in Tucson, plus whatever your state tax rate is. So if you come in from a state with a tax rate of, say, 3%, then you're going to pay a total of 5%. That's your 3 plus R2. If your state tax rate is 7%, you're going to pay 9%. That's your 7 plus R9. If you're from Alaska, it's 0 there. So their tax rate is 0, so you'd pay 2% tax and a $250 dock fee. If you pay by wire and ship, no tax, no dock fees. You deal with whatever happens at motor vehicle when it ships to your front door. You take it down to motor vehicle. If they want tax money, you pay them or whatever. If you do pay by wire and ship, once we receive the wire, we will fill in the title the way you want it, notarize it, scan it into your online file so you'll be able to see the title before it even mails out to you. We even scan in the envelope we mail it in. We will also provide a scan of the title from Coca-Cola so you'll know that that's really where it came from. Everything that we know, we disclose. There's no upside in any BSing, any, distracting you from what's going on. There's no illusions here. If we do this correctly, the right person will find the right vehicle, the right guy with the right business will find this vehicle, and he'll put it to good use and make a lot of money with it. If we BS, we could get the wrong guy in the wrong car and we'll get yelled at, and I never get yelled at, haven't for a long time, and I'm going to keep it that way. There's billions of people on the internet. Our vehicles go to American Samoa, to Germany, to Tortola recently, and that provides us with a pool of people who can buy vehicles if they're described perfectly, and will accept the flaws. So that is how this thing works. Deposits are $500. Once we get a deposit, we will put your name and a banner over the truck at wheelkinetics.com and you'll know it's yours. Until we receive that deposit, it is for sale. Okay? I'm going to shut up for just a second here. Got a little stretch here where I can get away without getting a ticket for about 200 yards. It's a big truck. See how fast that... Beautiful. And I don't want to ruin the guy in the van, so. Rear brake pads are new. Brakes great. Oil change. Upper control arms. Blah, blah, blah. This is the part of the video where I give you a speech on warranty. Obviously, with those miles, it is out of warranty, factory standards. If they could have given it a 15-year, 300,000-mile warranty, they would have. And they would have sold them for a lot more money, and people would still have them. They wouldn't trade them in or sell them or whatever, right? The reason they don't give them that kind of warranty is because they have no idea what's going to happen to them at the end of a certain number of miles or years. On this one, I would say the powertrain was probably 5 and 60. So after that, the engineers who built it said, we don't know what's going to happen, okay? If they don't know what's going to happen, there's very little chance that we know more than the people who built it. What I'm saying is, we don't know what's going to happen to this truck. If we did know, we'd be bazillionaires, loaded, if we knew what was going to happen to this truck next week or tomorrow. We know what we have in front of us today. What we have in front of us today is exactly as described. But we don't know if the day you get it, it's gonna need a window regulator, crank handle, or a switch here, or a switch here, or an injector, or a motor. We have no idea, okay? So there's risk involved in buying anything used, especially vehicles. And if you're not willing to just say, hey, listen, I saved a bunch of money, and some of that money I'm saving is gonna have to go towards a repair sooner or later, because that's for sure. And that's just it. And so if it's, you know, got a problem a week after I get it, or the day I get it, then I'm gonna have to go get it fixed, because Wheel Kinetics is not fixing it, okay? So if you don't accept that, please don't buy this truck. It's, you know, it's a gas 6.0. They made a bazillion of them. It's got a rebuilt transmission, which shifts perfectly, so you don't have to worry about that. So the only issues you could possibly have are the motor. The motor runs great today. So, you know, if you needed a worst case scenario would be that you blow a motor and you need a motor. Well, you can buy 6.0s, used 6.0s on eBay for somewhere between what, 12 and 2,000. That's the worst case. If you change the oil and the air filter and drive it like a human being, you'll probably go for another 200,000 miles, you know, but we don't know. So it's not an exact science. If it was, I could go buy cars at the auctions all day long and know which ones were bad and which ones were good, and I would never lose a dime on a car, and I'd be richer than Donald Trump by the end of this year. Okay, so if you don't like risk, go buy a new one, get a box put on it, probably somewhere around 40 grand, 45,000, you'll be good to go. And you'll be safe with a 3-year 36 for 3 years, and when you're done with that, you'll owe $35,000 on it, and you'll be out of warranty. And that's the truth, okay? Not to mention it's got a hydraulic lift on it, which is worth a fortune. Those things are expensive. Anyway, that is my speech. Pretty nice truck. If you need a work truck, this would be a good one. Thank you.